This is an art collage novel video. I made this series so you guys can experience the story faster. The video will focus on the character's psychology, the images are for illustration purposes only. Tang Xian appeared under the protection of the crowd, and several strong men surrounded Tang Jia and the others. They were all Tang Xian's absolute confidants, and they would not show mercy even if they had to kill Tang Jia. It was already evening, and Xian Wudi, who had been invited, was also with them. His eyes fell on Tang Jia, and his pupils suddenly shrank, revealing a shocked expression. He had originally thought that after obtaining the martial will Dao fruit and advancing to martial honor, he would be the strongest among the younger generation of the Merchant Union, with the exception of Li Feiyu. However, after the last battle with Liang Yui, he had lost all confidence. He was not sure if he could win against Liang Yui, let alone Yunxiao. Now that he looked at Tang Jia, not only had he also advanced to the rank of martial honor, but he was also exuding a powerful aura that made him fearful. Humph, Tang Xian, there's a spy in the sect. I'm catching the spy. Get out of my way and don't get in my way. Tang Jia was already in a very bad mood, especially after he started cultivating demonic arts. Yuan Sun's death and Yunxiao's escape had put him on the verge of going berserk. Coupled with the great increase in his power, how could he still look up to Tang Xian? The undisguised contempt made Tang Xian angry, and she laughed in anger. A spy? I'm hosting an important guest tonight. You're deliberately ruining my plan, right? Don't think that I don't know your background. Could it be that you're keeping a few demonic beasts in that spatial seal? Brother, you're courting death. Tang Jia's face suddenly changed and said coldly. Tang Xian snorted coldly, looked straight at him, and said coldly, Brother, you've changed a lot after spending so much time with animals. Just as the two of them were at loggerheads, Yunxiao suddenly came out of the void and said, Brother Tang Xian, your demonic beast brother almost killed me. Save me. He immediately hid behind Tang Xian, looking scared. You were the one who let this spy in. Tang Jia flew into a rage, and his face was unusually ugly. No wonder Tang Xian knew that he was with those big demons. It turned out that they were already on the same side. Hand over Yunxiao, and I can spare your life, and you can still be my brother happily. Otherwise? Otherwise what? Tang Xian's face turned cold. Although she did not know when Yunxiao had arrived, Tang Jia's tone had already made her furious. A murderous look flashed in Tang Jia's eyes as he said coldly, Otherwise, I'll kill my own family for the sake of justice. As soon as the words were spoken, the entire place was filled with killing intent. The atmosphere instantly became tense. Although they were all from the Four Extremes sect, they were clearly divided into two factions. Second young master, you should just capture that person and bring him here. You are all outstanding talents of the Four Extremes sect, Elder Tong said indifferently. Don't fight among yourselves. We don't want outsiders to see us as a joke. Humph, when did Elder Tong also join Tang Jia? Tang Xian's face flashed with cold anger and he sneered, Why didn't you inform me so that Tang Xian could congratulate you? Elder Hao could also hear the sarcasm in his words, but he did not change his expression. He only said indifferently, I didn't join anyone. I only follow the sect master's arrangements. Oh. From what you're saying, it seems like father sent you to listen to Tang Jia's orders? Although Tang Xian's words were full of ridicule, her eyes were filled with deep shock. My clever little brother, haven't you always been proud of your flawless plan? Can't you see such a simple thing? What father gave me was not just Elder Hao, but a lot more resources, Tang Jia said proudly. I'm sure you already knew about it, but you've been playing dumb, right? My good little brother, acting dumb won't save you. It's better to be smarter. Kneel down and kowtow to your big brother a few times to admit your mistake. Big brother can let you live happily for the rest of your life. Tang Xian's face was gloomy and she said coldly, Are you done? If you're done, then go back to your demonic beast nest. Well, you're asking for it the hard way. Elder Hao, don't be polite with him. Just take Li Yunxiao. If anyone resists, kill him without mercy, including Tang Xian. A bloodthirsty killing intent appeared on Tang Jie's face as he looked at Tang Xian coldly. This younger brother who had always been a thorn in his side suddenly became no match for him at all. He couldn't help but feel the pleasure of revenge. As soon as Elder Hao and the four martial emperor powerhouses moved, the surrounding martial artists turned pale. If they were to break off and fight, they would be cannon fodder. Young Master Tang Xian, you must save me. Don't forget your promise this day. You said that even the people from the 7 superpowers can't hurt me in the 4 extremes sect. Yunxiao said with a frightened look. Everyone knew that he was pretending, and Tang Xian was even more speechless. It turned out that this kid had already planned it, and he really fell into his trap. But, even without the promise made during the day, there was no way Tang Jia could take Yunxiao away in this situation. Not to mention Yunxiao's information on Tang Jia, even his position would not allow such a thing to happen. Don't worry, Tang Xian, always keep my word. I will not regret it even if I die 10,000 times. Tang Xian said with confidence. Since that's the case, let's die together. Kill. Under Tang Jia's command, the 4 martial emperor powerhouses' eyes flashed with a trace of reluctance and hesitation. However, their loyalty prevailed. The aura from their bodies immediately made everyone silent. Elder Hao also walked out slowly and stared at the person beside Tang Xian. I've heard that Hidden Dragon is the #1 expert by second young master's side and is extremely mysterious. I really want to reveal your face today. Hidden Dragon, who was wrapped in a black robe, said coldly, if you want to see my face, you should be prepared to die. He wasn't afraid at all, and he walked forward lightly. Their eyes met in the air, and a faint spiritual pressure spread out, immediately making the people around feel great pressure. The battle started as soon as it started. All of a sudden, a peaceful energy appeared and instantly suppressed the 4 martial sovereigns who were about to attack. A cold voice was heard saying, everyone, stop. A powerful force descended from the sky and immediately sent the 4 martial sovereigns flying back. It was Luo Ying, the deputy sect master of the 4 extreme sect. His face was extremely gloomy with a trace of anger. He said in a deep voice, Elder Tong, not only did you not stop the internal strife between fellow disciples, but you also participated in it? Elder Hao's heart skipped a beat as he retracted his aura from Hidden Dragon and said, I'm just following the sect master's orders. He told me to follow the eldest young master's lead. Luo Ying said coldly, I don't care whose orders you're following. In any case, I will never allow people from the same sect to kill each other. Go back to where you came from now. Elder Hao's expression changed slightly. Luo Ying's words did not give him any face at all. However, the other party's strength and status were both above his, so he couldn't say anything. He just snorted coldly and raised his head, looking unruly. As the person in charge, Tang Jia stood up and stared at Luo Ying, deputy sect master, that Li Yunxiao has broken into my forbidden land. As long as Tang Xian hands him over, everything will be fine. Luo Ying frowned and said, Li Yunxiao is a guest invited by Tang Xian. How could he break into your forbidden land? Even if he did, I'm afraid he didn't mean it. Right. Sect Master Luo is right, I didn't do it on purpose. Yunxiao chimed in with a smile. You coward. Tang Jia was furious. How could such a big commotion be unintentional? But he couldn't say anything about the matter of the group of demons palace, so he could only say hatefully, Vice Sect Leader, I hope you can seriously consider this. I'm no longer the same as I was in the past, so don't stand on the wrong side, or it'll be troublesome in the future. As soon as he said this, everyone's face changed slightly, while Tang Xian was overjoyed. Luo Ying's attitude had always been neutral, but Tang Jia was courting death by pushing him to her side. As expected, Luo Ying's expression suddenly changed, and he said coldly and angrily, I, Luo Ying, really want to see how the eldest young master will find trouble with me. I'm going to count to 3 now. If you don't get the hell back, then don't ever go back. 1. As soon as he finished speaking, he began to count. The expressions of Elder Hao and the others changed drastically. They knew that the negotiations had completely broken down. Furthermore, Luo Ying had always been a man of his word, and if they didn't retreat, they might really be in trouble. Good, good, very good. Tang Jia was furious and roared. This young master will definitely make you regret it one day. Tang Jia was not a fool. Under the current circumstances, they could not take advantage of the situation no matter what. He led everyone back resentfully and disappeared into the sealed space. Thank you, Uncle Luo. Tang Xian hurriedly came forward and said, thank you for saving me. Luo Ying's face was still livid as he said, it's fine. Tang Jia is getting more and more overboard. When this matter is over, I will return to the Four Extremes sect and ask your father what his attitude is. After that, he gave Yunxiao a puzzled look and disappeared. Phew. We're finally saved. Young Master Tang Xian is indeed a man of his word. Yunxiao breathed a sigh of relief, as if he had just survived a disaster. You flatter me. Young Master Yun must be joking. I thought you wouldn't be coming to today's banquet, but it turns out you've arrived a long time ago, and you've even caused me so much trouble. Tang Xian chuckled, but his eyes were extremely cold. Yunxiao's actions today had further intensified the conflict between him and Tang Jia, and he now knew nothing about Tang Jia's trump card. Yet, he had to greet him with a smile and ask Yunxiao for information about Tang Jia, which made him feel very aggrieved. Even though he felt aggrieved, he still had to continue. Yesterday, young Master Yun wrote a poem at the Fragrance Pavilion, who in the ancient times is worthy of being called an uncle, by Yunka who travels the wind for 10,000 miles. Listen to the fragrance, boil water, drink tea, and flip the palm of the raging waves. At that time, Tang Xian was ignorant and fearless, but now he knows that the poem is true. Tang Xian smiled and said, young Master Yun, please. Brother Wudi also invites you. The banquet was held in a small secret room, with only Yunxiao, Qian Wudi, Tang Xian, and the mysterious hidden dragon. This also showed the position of hidden dragon in Tang Xian's heart. There are a total of 18 restrictions in this secret room, so it's impossible for anyone to eavesdrop on us. You too can rest assured. Tang Xian was still very confident about the safety of the secret room. That's good. After all, what I'm about to tell you is very important. The more people know about it, the more dangerous it will be. Yunxiao smiled, then put on a cautious look, which startled Tang Xian and Qian Wudi. Tang Xian's face was extremely ugly and he said, could it be that Noah's ship is really in Tang Jia's hands? This question was of great importance, especially to him, and it was almost fatal. If Tang Jia obtained Noah's ship, then he would completely lose the opportunity to get his father's support and it would be difficult to compete with Tang Jia. Qian Wudi was also nervous. The status of a supreme-grade profound-level weapon was too important. If it was taken by someone and recognized as an owner, the entire situation of the continent would change. Only Hidden Dragon, who was hidden in the black robe, could not see any clues. However, it was likely that he would not be calm. You don't have to worry about this, Yunxiao said with a smile. Noah's ship has indeed been taken by someone, but it's not Tang Jia. The two of them were shocked. Qian Wudi said in horror, who is it? Tang Xian heaved a heavy sigh of relief in his heart, and cold sweat even oozed out of her palms. Yi Nanshan's descendant. Yunxiao said softly. You don't have to worry about that. Yi Nanshan's descendants have no interest in the business of the Merchant Union. As for where they are now, I'm sorry, but I don't know. Yes, I naturally believe in what young Master Yun said. What about the big demon and the heaven and earth chess game you mentioned earlier? Tang Xian asked. Yunxiao briefly told them about what happened that day, including the origin of the great demon and the chess game set by the throne, which left both of them dumbfounded. This lecture lasted for most of the night. Qian Wudi was extremely vexed, it was so exciting after I left that day. I'm so regretful. Yunxiao laughed. Brother Wudi managed to seize the time to break through to the rank of martial honor. I'm so envious of you. Why are you upset? If I had chosen to stay back then, I might not have been able to come out alive. Tang Xian's face turned pale after hearing it. He gritted her teeth and said, "You mean Tang Jia also knows how to break the heaven and earth chess game?" That's right. Although it was an unintentional move that day, it was indeed broken. Brother Tang Xian? Yunxiao asked in surprise. Why does your face look like pig liver after you heard it? Xianwudi's heart moved. He said, Tang Xian, I've always heard that you're a peerless talent who solved the heaven and earth chess game and got the array inheritance of the throne. Is there a problem? Tang Xian's face was dark and gloomy, and she couldn't suppress her inner emotions. He clenched his hands and paced back and forth in the secret room. Yunxiao and Tang Xian waited quietly. After a while, Tang Xian finally calmed down and said, "The rumors are true. I did break the Go arrangement and obtain the inheritance." Oh. Xianwudi was shocked and said with rapt attention, "Since you've already obtained the throne's array Dao inheritance, why do you have such an unsightly expression?" Tang Xian gritted her teeth. Because the inheritance is engraved outside the Sea of Soul formation. Anyone who can crack it can get it. Xianwudi was stunned, so that's how it is.
Aww.
Tang Xian felt annoyed and said angrily, and judging from the time, it's very likely that he's already been to the outside of the Soul formation sea. He struggled for a while in his heart and finally said, furthermore, the 4 extreme sex resources are flowing towards him like a tide. I suspect that even if those great demons have not recovered to their peak, they are not far away. What? Xianwudi said in shock, a few peak tier 9 great demons, Tao Wu? This joke is too big. Yunxiao shook his head. He has certainly recovered a lot, but it's impossible for him to return to his peak. Otherwise, he would have unified the Merchant Union long ago. He had once been a peak marshal supreme. Naturally, he knew the difficulty of fully recovering. It was not enough to have resources alone. He needed time to accumulate. Although the big demons had recovered a lot during the trip to the Demon's Hall, they were still far from the peak of the martial supreme realm. Tang Xian's eyes were filled with ruthlessness as she said fiercely, "It's too dangerous. I should have gotten rid of him earlier. I originally thought that everything was under my control, but I didn't expect such a big mistake to occur. His luck is so good that it can be said to be heaven-defying." Yunxiao looked at Tang Xian's angry face and said leisurely, "Now that the weather has changed, I'm afraid brother Tang Xian can't even protect himself, right? Humph, although his luck is heaven-defying, I've already set up all sorts of backup plans. He won't be able to deal with me in a short time." Tang Xian said coldly, "As long as he doesn't have the help of Noah's ship and peak martial emperor, I can destroy him before he becomes strong." Brother Tang Xian, don't underestimate the strength of those demons, Yunxiao said with a smile. They all have peak 9th tier mystic artifacts in their hands. I have an idea that can save brother Tang Xian a lot of trouble. He did not mention the matter of the armillary sphere, otherwise the shock would not have been below Noah's ship. Oh. Young Master Yun, tell me. Tang Xian was overjoyed. Yunxiao now held a very high position in his heart. That's right. Yunxiao nodded and said, "Don't you think that the birth of a few demon almighty is enough to shake the continent? One had to know that ever since the demon clan was trapped in the 5-cloud mountain, the rest of them had been hiding in the illusory realm of stars and moon, and there were no experts. Have the two of you ever thought about what kind of impact it will bring to the human race with the appearance of several former peak 9th rank combatants?" The two of them were shocked, and then fell into deep thought. Young Master Yun, do you mean to let the entire human race block it? Tang Xian asked. It's not as serious as you say, Yunxiao said with a smile. We just need to send this matter to the sacred zone, and they'll make their own decision. Do you think the people of the Holy Region will tolerate the cooperation of a few monster race powerhouses with the 4 Extremes sect? It's indeed a brilliant move. Tang Xian was overjoyed. As long as the sacred law enforcement officers interfere, I'll take action. Even if father supports Tang Jia, he'll die without a doubt. Not necessarily, Yunxiao said. But it's true that it can give a heavy blow. This is your 4 extreme sects internal conflict, that's all I have to say. It's getting late, so I'll take my leave. After Yunxiao pointed it out, he got up and was about to leave. He had gained a lot from this trip. Not only did he find out about the situation of those big demons, but he also got a large amount of second wood essence, enough for him to cultivate the thunder transformation skill. He also directly guided Tang Xian to fight against Tang Jia to restrain those big demons. Tang Xian and Qian Wudi had also learned a lot and learned so many secrets, but unlike Yunxiao, their hearts were extremely heavy. In that case, Tang Xian will see you off. Watching Yunxiao and Qian Wudi leave, Tang Xian's face grew uglier and uglier. Suddenly, he asked, Hidden Dragon, how much do you believe in Li Yunxiao's words? Hidden Dragon didn't answer the question but asked in a strange manner, how much do you want me to believe, young master? Tang Xian smiled, a rare smile, and said, it doesn't matter how much you believe me. Li Yunxiao is right. The sacred zone will never allow great demons to mix with the Four Extremes sect. You can rest assured, Mr. Hidden Dragon. Yes, I will report this matter as such. When you spread the news to the Holy Region, there will be people who will help to verify the news. At that time, we can directly let the people of the Holy Region deal with Tang Jia, which will save us a lot of trouble. Hidden Dragon's eyes, which were hidden in the black robe, suddenly shone. What do you think of Li Yunxiao, young master? He asked. Tang Xian's body trembled, and his face was full of seriousness. Powerful, very powerful. I really don't know when such a figure appeared in the heavenly martial arts realm. Whether it's wisdom or strength, I feel that even the four prodigies of the North region may not be his match. Yes, the battle between him and Liang Yui the other day really opened my eyes. Even when he used teleportation in the end, I'm sure he didn't use his full strength. I'm afraid only Li Feiyu and Tang Jia have the chance to fight him in the Merchant Union. Oh. Mr. Hidden Dragon has such high hopes for Tang Jia? Tang Xian's face was slightly unhappy, but she still said casually, but fortunately, Li Yunxiao's purpose is at least the same as mine. Although I don't know why he wants to deal with Tang Jia and those demons, I can see that their enmity is not small. Yunxiao just wants to use me, but I'm also using them. There's no need to be angry, young master, Yin Long laughed. When Tang Jia saw him just now, his body revealed an aura that even I couldn't detect. After coming into contact with those members of the monster race, he has indeed changed a lot. Your father might have some thoughts about those members of the monster race. Aren't you afraid of spoiling your father's plans? Since he fully supports Tang Jia, he has already given up on my life and death. Since that's the case, he's no longer my father. Tang Xian's eyes flashed with sharp determination. After Yunxiao left the Four Extremes sect, the sky was about to break, and he was walking alone on the road. The milky white morning fog enveloped the entire city, making it impossible to tell the distance under the light of the morning sun. It was like a misty paradise. All of a sudden, a pale blue light flew over silently, as if it had appeared out of thin air. If it wasn't for the blue light, it wouldn't have been able to sense it. What? Yunxiao let out a soft cry of surprise as he gently caught the blue beam with 2 fingers. It turned out to be an extremely tiny blue needle. This needle. Yunxiao's pupils constricted as he looked shocked. Blue meteoric iron? He touched it lightly with 2 fingers. Although it was very small, it was definitely blue meteorite iron. It was a raw material that was no less precious than the Northern Heaven Cold Star iron. The material was unusually difficult to identify, and it was not much different from another low-grade material, but it was a simple thing for Yunxiao. CSI. A slight airflow came from the sky, and a few more blue beams of light shot toward where Yunxiao's eyes were focused. They were extremely fast, but they did not have much power. What kind of idiot sent me raw materials? I'd be letting myself down if I didn't accept them. Although Yunxiao felt that it was a little strange, he was bold and skillful, so he was naturally not afraid. Instead, he reached out to grab the blue light. Light flickered in the air again. This time, it came from all directions. It did not hold back at all. It actually felt like it was covering the entire sky and earth. The entire world was covered in blue light. This buy-in. Yunxiao was taken aback for a moment, but then a look of joy appeared on his face. With a wonderful movement technique, he kept flashing across the street and grabbing at the blue meteorites. If it was just a needle, it would be almost useless, but with such a large amount, even a fist-sized piece would be extremely precious.